Who would have thought that some of these small town cemeteries have this many Masonic graves? Some of them do, some of them don't. But if you find one, you're going to find others. It's quite interesting. You don't think of these small towns as being Masonic. It's almost as if that secret society was managing to keep their society secret even in a small town. You really don't think that there would be 15, 20, 30 Masonic graves in a cemetery that has 200 graves or so. It is about 15% or so. And so there are that many Masons in America. I know if I were to choose a certain, I guess you could call that a fraternity to belong to, that may be it. I just live my life kind of similar to theirs. I don't necessarily believe in a complete and total higher power that's interacting with the earth like they do. But I do believe that you can definitely take advantage of a lot of stuff on this earth, and there's a lot of sophistication and intelligence that we haven't necessarily quite tapped into yet, and they're kind of on the cutting edge of that. They've always been great philanthropists, and there's actually going to be a video I do on the Masons once we get to Kansas City, and once we get to that Masonic temple in the downtown Kansas City. As you know, there's Masonic temples all across every town in the United States, and especially in every major United States downtowns. So let's go ahead and explore this little cemetery right in the middle of America, right in small town Pinckneyville, Illinois. On my endless road trip across the United States, this cemetery actually holds also something really special, and that is Civil War dead, meaning Civil War soldiers that actually died on the battlefield and were taken back to their hometown. And that doesn't happen very often. Most of them were actually just killed and buried right on the on the battlefild, because things were worse enough with the diseases and everything else. They couldn't do that. It was brutal enough. But actually, in this circumstance, a battle near Kentucky is why there is actually Civil War dead in here. And we're going to show you that in a minute. I think you can see them in the background. You can see the little white headstones, which is like in Arlington. So it's incredibly interesting. Let's go ahead and check this out a little bit more. I was kind of going through the heartland. I went through another cemetery in Tennessee that didn't have any Civil War dead at all. I think it may have had only one Civil War veteran. Now, there are veterans' graves, but it's rare that you actually see a Civil War dead on the battlefield and then brought back to be buried in their hometown. This was from a battle in Kentucky where a bunch of these guys, I guess from Pinckneyville, we'll call them maybe boys, teenagers, from Pinckneyville, Illinois, men in their teens, 20s, and maybe 30s. Here they are. I'm going to hire a historian to do a more in-depth thing on this next time I am in this town. I do have my grandmother lives here. And February 15th, 1862. So I guess that's when that battle took place. I looked it up a little bit last time I was here. It was some sort of battle, and where they were able to, I guess, bring them back to their hometown. Kentucky is, within a couple 100 miles from here. So let's go ahead and go check out some of the Masonic graves, this time on Secret America. There's another Masonic one right there. trying to find the headstone of a World War II, a young man who died in World War II. In those circumstances, they did ship them, you know, back. And in Vietnam, if they found the bodies, they would airplane them back. Here's a Native American Cherokee. Then on the back, I guess, what, was he a fireman? I guess he was a fireman, too. This is interesting. On this Masonic tomb, you see, I guess the man has the protractor, I believe that's is that a C or a G in there? I guess I don't know enough about Masonry. But the man has that. And then have you guys ever heard of the female side of Masonry? And their symbol, I think, guess, is this star. So this woman, I guess, she died all the way back in 1947, and apparently she was part of the female version of the Masons. And looks like their daughter right here, she has the star too, and she died in 1972. Daughter. So that is, then they have a little slogan on the bottom of each one. This is a life like hers has left a record sweet for memory to dwell upon. That's the mom. To live in the hearts we leave behind is not to die. That's the daughter. And then memory has painted his portrait with colors that never fade. And that was Mr. Heisler, Henry Charles Heisler. I guess he was, sounds German to me. So it's actually kind of rare to find a cemetery where there is Civil War fallen dead from the battlefield. I imagine you might be able to find some down around the South, maybe around Atlanta, and it'd be really cool to see a Confederate headstone from a fallen soldier on the battlefield. That would be really cool. I don't think I've ever seen one of those. So thanks for joining me for another episode. If you guys happen to know of a cemetery down south or something like that where there are Civil War dead from the battlefield, I would love to know. Leave it in the comments, hit subscribe, donate, definitely do a couple likes here, and we'll see you next time, because you're my co-pilot on our endless road trip across the United States. Hey, this is Secret America.